You're listening to the Rich Girls Podcast, where we celebrate women who are glowing, inspiring, rising, leading, and succeeding. Join your hosts, Jasmine and Cecily, for weekly gems on business, relationships, motherhood, finances, and more. Let's get started.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
What's up?
What's up? Welcome back to the Rich Girls Podcast. This is episode 23, and this is Battle of the Sexes special edition.
Yes.
Today with our special guests, Joseph Clarke and Henry McCormick. Thank you guys for being on the show today.
Yes, thank you.
Yo,
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I know a
appreciate
lot of
y'all having me.
people already know you guys, but could you all give us a formal introduction? Just who you are, your job, career, marital status, if you have one. Henry, you can go first.
All right. Well, again, I'm Henry McCormick. I've been in the finance world for about a decade now. I have a background in social work and psychology. It's the foundation of my educational background. But I've been doing finance for about a decade. Owned my own financial services company for about 8 years, then transitioned out of that, retired. Now I work at a banking institution. Got 4 children, 3 baby mamas, ain't married none of them. That's my family life. And then just now I focus on, being a pillar for my community, focusing on inspiring and re-educating people of African descent.
I love that you said re-educating. Yes. You got to unlearn and relearn everything.
Where'd you graduate from? College?
I went to Western Kentucky. I graduated there. I'm from that general area. I lived most of my life in that general area.
Okay, cool. All right.
All right, awesome.
Joseph.
Yep.
Good afternoon. I'm Joseph Clarke. I'm an author. Published 4 books. Most of my books are about my personal life, me being a father and all that stuff, whatever. I drive trucks in the daytime. I'm a postman at night. I have 3 kids. I have a 17-year-old that's about to go to Yale University.
Nice.
What's that say? That's it. That's it for now. That's it for now.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll learn more about you as the show goes on.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah. All right, so thank you. So
happy to have you guys.
Yeah.
So we already broke it down to them, but viewers, you are probably familiar with our past episodes of Battle of the Sexes. Today is a special one because these men have very controversial, I would say, posts, which is what called RI. As far as women go, they have very strong opinions, which is okay. And I'm actually happy to have you guys because it's amazing being able to battle people who have different viewpoints than you. That's the only way you're going to grow. So I'm happy you all are here. Yeah. We're going to start off with our question first, and then the guys are going to hit us with the question. And at the end of the battle, please vote and let us know who won.
Yep. Drop it in the comments below. And be sure, if you guys are viewing right now.
Oh, yeah. Put your questions down there, too.
If you have questions that you want us to ask, drop them in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. Subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. Yeah. So, first question. Do you believe, guys, that gender roles are important?
You want to take it over, my brother?
Yeah, let me go. I think it's the most important thing, dynamic between man and woman. It's the most important. You have to know your place in life. If you don't know your place in life, you'll be lost. So the woman has a role and the man has a role. And that's the way America was built. That's the way the country was built.
What are the roles?
Yeah, we're in a disarray right now. The role is woman take care of the kids, men go out, hunt, and be the breadwinner and bring home the bread. That's what the role is.
So women are homebound and men are.
I did not say that.
Well, you said home with the kids.
Well,
No,
listen,
well, he said take care of the kids.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
no, listen. The role at home is the most important one. That's point I'm trying to let you guys know. You guys don't realize how important that is. That's the most important one, and that's the reason why it desires a woman's attention, because they're more attentive to detail. So you get what I'm saying? They're more compassionate. So that's why their role at home is the most important. It's way more.
Agree with you
I
on that.
agree. I agree on that.
Most definitely.
And
So-
I'm gonna piggyback off of that too, because and going back to it, and I completely 100% agree. I mean, gender roles is vital and necessary to the structure and foundation of a family dynamic. And understand your role into your family and what you provide and what you bring to the family. And as a man, your number one thing that you live for and exist for is to provide. If it's not only for your immediate family, your kids, your wife, but then you go out and work every single day to provide for your grandchildren. Like I don't work today for my children. I work for my great grandchildren.
Perfectly said.
For them that they're going to be established, right?
Yes.
That's why I go to work every day. That's what I do. Not only for them, I'm working to change my community for my grandchildren. So as a man, I'm a pillar of my community and creating a foundation. Now, as a woman, you orchestrate the family, right? I go out and provide and make sure that you are allowed and have the ability to make sure that you're instilling the values and morals of our family and what they're going to take and pass down to our great grandchildren, right?
Yes.
So what you bring to the table is what you as the head, and what I mean by the head is if you look at the family dynamic, because if a queen and the queen mother is not taken care of, then everything that follows is dead.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
Absolutely.
So if you're not a strong mother and you don't take care of your family, you see the outcomes. And we can see today in today's society how our children are flawed because the mothers were flawed. You can't put no blame on a child because a child is only a product of their environment. And the number one environment is the family dynamic that it came from.
Yep.
That's true.
You're absolutely right about that. I will say that. I'm a therapist currently, and for me, I started off working with primarily children. And then once I got deeper into the family dynamics, I realized that the mother, which is usually who's head in the household, she needs therapy. So in order to fix the children, you do have to fix, the parent first.
But I want to interject on the comment you made, and then we should answer our question ourselves. But you said the flaws of the children are. Can we run that back? Because what about the father? What about the fatherless children? Do you not think that fatherless children and the negative impact of man's absence plays a huge role on the upbringing of our kids?
Yes, of course, but a father's absence in a family is a mother's choice.
That's true.
All right. So think about this.
Most of the time,
a man can't produce a child, right? So a man cannot produce a child, and a man has no impact on whether he's in the child's life. So if a mother doesn't want a man to be in his child's life, she doesn't have to, right? In the society that we live in today. And it's also pushed in as a narrative in this movement that we have in this society that women don't need men and men don't have value in a home. And that they're replaceable.
I got one thing too. So this is the thing, right? You're a single mother. No, you have needs, female needs that you make sure is tend to. You get what I'm saying? When the kids are asleep, you have someone coming over and all that stuff, whatever. Why can't you find a man to replace the father? If you can find someone to have sex with, why can't you find someone to replace the father? Are your sexual need more important than the father in the home?
It's not okay. The reason that we can't replace the father is not like we're not trying to. Um. Okay, so that question is kind of simple. Yes, we have physical needs, and I think that we can have them met if we want to have. We're all grown.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so it's equal. We're entitled to that.
I think, I think we're not touching the root cause though. The root issue is that you made the choice to be a single mother. That's a choice.
And I
In this day and age, it is the choice. A man has no power. A man can't force you to have sex. He can't force you to keep the baby. He can't even force you to give him rights. That none of that is a choice, right? So being a single mother at the end of the day is a choice. You also choose to not to be a wife before a mother. That's a choice, right?
That's true.
Right? You could be a wife and then you could be a mother. There's a big difference for someone who's a single mom and someone who's a divorcee. Those are two different categories of a woman.
Too different, yeah.
Right? Not only is it from a societal outlook of you, but also from a tax financial aspect of you, right? You have certain rights and things are allowed to you as a divorcee than as a single mother. So being a single mother is a complete 100% choice by a woman, especially in today's society, in this 21st century, where having a baby is a choice.
All right, you guys, viewers, what do you think? Is single parenting a choice? I'm going to have to disagree with that comment because there are so many circumstances. I think you're overgeneralizing. That's just my opinion. Because there's so many instances where a man has the choice to walk away and definitely does and decide, makes that choice not to. There's a lot of instances where the mother is doing nothing to create this absence of the man in the home. Like you're allowing the space for a relationship to be built, but a man still is making the choice not to be there for their child.
Yeah, that would be his choice too. But again, you're avoiding the root cause. The root cause is that you chose to have that child. You chose to bring that child into an environment where the possibility of a single father is a possible option and a viable option.
So what's the solution? How do you feel about like abortion? Like, are you pro-life or pro-choice then? If we're gonna,
I'm pro-marriage. Right, I'm cool. We're not touching. Before you even get to that point, right?
We have this choice of whether we want to be single mothers or not. So we also should have a choice whether, to become a single mother or not, right?
That's the choice, right? But the problem is that women as a whole, especially women of African descent, are not choosing to be a wife before they're being a mother.
Dude. And you said let's get down to the root. So let's get down to the root of that.
You guys are not choosing the right men to get impregnated by either. You get what I'm saying? You guys are choosing people based off physical appearance or what they look like or how they make you feel. Instead of what they can provide for a family. Like what do they bring? You guys are not vetting the men that you guys are getting pregnant for. And it's honestly the truth. Like some of the baby fathers I see that some of these women have, I was like, what? Like, who approved this? But guess what? You women have the choice now to pick the man that they want, and you guys are failing horribly. Mm-hmm. You guys are picking the wrong men continuously, like 5 and 6 in a row.
He said 5 and 6 in a row.
I agree with you on that, honestly. Because I picked all good fathers. I have all 3 fathers of my kids literally proposed to me. They're all good dads, and I knew that going in, or I wouldn't have had the kid. We were in stable relationships, so I do agree with that. I do. Because you can't control whether or not a man isn't shit or whether or not he takes care of his kids, but you can pick,
right.
a good person to, father your kids with. So I do agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. If you were having kids for a man who have like 4 or 5 kids, that's the stupidest shit in the world. I don't understand it. If he can't be a parent to the other kids, Like, when is he gonna get the time to be a parent to you?
Exactly.
Yeah, most definitely. Agreed.
But the problem is, a lot of women keep continuously giving these men kids. These men should not have access to sex, man.
Exactly.
It's the truth.
I agree with you.
I agree with you on that too.
But again, we gotta start looking at again, and a lot of these issues again stem from again these family dynamics that aren't being passed down. These values and morals that are supposed to be passed down to these women, these young girls that are having these children at such a young age, or just engaging in premarital sex, which is fine. I'm obviously a firm believer in premarital sex. However, I'm also a firm believer in responsibility and accountability into those decisions. So you can have premarital sex, or you can have certain values and stuff that you want to be passed down from a young woman to an adult woman, but the problem in this disconnect. Go ahead.
I think the dysfunction in the Black family unit in society today, it is a generational effect. Like, we can sit and so now we just are stuck pointing the fingers at each other. I feel like Black men and Black women. It's your fault that we're not succeeding, as a community, and then men feel the same way about us. But I feel like this whole collapse of the Black family was orchestrated, of course, by our government. If you know American history, then you know. So instead of pointing the finger and placing the blame, like,
before the finger can be, before you can solve a problem, you got to understand how it became a problem, right? And you say this like, hey, we all know what happened by the government and all that stuff, but that's the thing, is that we don't know. Right? Most of the people in our community are so uneducated, they don't know what happened and why the destabilization of the Black family happened and how it happened. Right? It was systematically done. But then they also aren't doing the things to fix the issues. They just push the issues even further away. And I would say that the destabilization is rooted at this point now in just single mother parenting, right? The single mother family is the biggest destabilization of the whole family dynamic within the Black community and African community. That is the root cause of every single problem that we face at every single level.
I said that's the biggest. I said that's the biggest generational curse right now, and I got crucified. I got crucified for it.
Single motherhood.
That's literally, if you think about every single fabric of the community and the culture that we have, every negative thing that can be contributed to single mother parenting, whether it's financially, education, morals, values,
incarceration,
mental health, anything that that can literally become contributed as a root cause. To single mother parenting. If you literally fix that issue, everything that we face as a society and as a whole collectively can rise above. But we can't do that.
Men stepping up though to play their part, because we are able. You explained earlier the family dynamic. Like, women are able to flourish and thrive and tend to their, to their household. So, but
they can't. But they can't though.
More good quality men to choose from. That's like totally a thing. Like,
wait.
That's a choice. Like I said, going back to it, it's a choice.
Wait. Do you know there's a study that says women only find 20% of men attractive? So basically, 60 to 70% of men are good men, but you guys don't find them attractive. You guys are wanting the 20% of men that you guys find attractive. You guys are just willing to share.
Yeah. So literally,
and that's the problem.
40% of men, 40% of the male population is having sex with 90% of the female population.
Do you
40%? That's guaranteeing that that for every one man, there's two men. For every one man, he's fucking at least two of the women of the female population.
See, you see that now.
40%. I mean, 60% of men. I
don't have any access to sex.
They're not having sex. Not even having sex. Right? If you want to get real, think about your own experiences and how many times you shared dick with somebody around town.
I don't know. If I ever did, I didn't know. But
Yes, you did.
about to marry.
Yes, you do. That's like saying your baby daddies ain't never
Yes,
slept
you
with
did.
nobody but you.
You
You
did not.
obviously know that.
Oh, what do you mean, like cheated or just had sex with somebody?
Period. That's period.
You know the
that's
dude you're having
period.
sex with is popular. You know you have a lot of hoes. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I ain't slept with too many hoes out here, but yeah, it's about choice. If I do, if I've done it, it's not because I want to make them my man though.
Right. And so just like how men have a free will and can categorize women, you don't look at every woman and say, oh, I'm going to build a relationship with her. Oh, I'm going to make her my wife.
Right. We know
Some
when
women,
someone's not worth it.
Exactly.
But again,
and so
going back to your
don't
first question, men
don't
and
give him
women
no
ain't the
kiss.
same. So you can't put what a man does and what a woman does in the same category because we're not the same by any means. And how we conduct ourselves and how we look at things aren't equally the same. Right? So you can't say.
Is that what's y'all's debate question?
Right.
All right.
We
That
went
brings
far
me-
on
Go ahead,
that.
Joseph. Go ahead. I'll let you get this one. Go ahead.
Honestly.
Huh?
You got a question? Go ahead.
I don't have a question right now.
You have a question? All right. I got a question. All right. What is the main reason why you became a single mother?
Mm.
And you cannot use men as an issue.
As the issue.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a single mother right now.
Hold on. Did you have a child before you got married?
I did, and
You're a single mother. You're married now, but you still were a single mother.
I chose to leave the relationship because I outgrew the relationship.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Walk away.
Oh my God.
Let him finish.
That's just
Yeah,
a simple
I mean,
answer. Chose to walk away from
outgrew
the
the relationship.
All right. So you broke up. You broke up with the father.
Let Jasmine answer that question too.
Mine is
Yes,
literally the
I did.
same response. Like, was pregnant when we created the child. It was out of love and had the intent to build a family together, obviously. But things had transpired during that time and over the course of pregnancy, and I definitely made a legit attempt to keep my family together, but it didn't work out that way. And
So you broke up with him?
And I was also young, so I was making stupid ass choices when I was young. That's just honestly me holding myself accountable. I wake up with the decisions I made back then every day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't have to blame men. I definitely contributed to the outcome of my family situation. So yeah, does that answer the question?
All right. No, I'm gonna say something now. You see, this is the biggest problem in the community. We women use their feelings to navigate their way through life. So this is the reason why you guys push the fathers out of the home, because you feel some type of way, because you feel you fell out of love, or
you said push the fathers out the home. That's not what we said.
No,
you broke up with them.
Yes.
That's not pushing the father. Listen.
No, listen. I'm not saying. Listen. I said the father is needed in the home. I'm not saying in the kid's life. I'm talking in the home, coming from work every night. The kids need to see that every day. And because of your feelings, you push the father out the house. Listen to what I'm saying. Your feelings have nothing to do with a family. It's about dedication. It's about purpose. It's about looking or foreseeing in the future that your child go out in the world as a stable individual.
But what if it's not a stable home
No.
Not stable. What if it's not?
You fix it. You go to therapy and you fix it.
No. You can't say that. You can't tell me that a woman should stay with a man that she's been with 4 kids and she's getting her ass beat every night.
No. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I did not say that. I did not say that. I'm not saying you should stay in an abusive relationship. We're talking about feelings now. I said, take your feelings out of this. It's about honor, respect, and seeing your kids go off in the world in a stable environment. You're gonna be your feelings go up and down. You're gonna be in love and hold love all the time. Fix it.
Want to be single, and you think we want to raise our kids on our
Yes,
own?
yes. A lot of women want new men. They like that feeling, so they don't care about their kids.
Now, I'll say this. I loved my child's father. We were together for 6 years. I loved him. We have joint custody of our son. He's very prevalent. And I now have a new husband or whatever who he sees, as that father figure as well. So he has 2 different men that he is able to look up to, and he knows the distinct difference between the 2. So if that's what's going to make me happier, because I have to be happy to make my kids happy.
Yep.
So therefore,
That's not true. That's not true.
That's
That's
wrong.
not true. That's not true. That's selfish. That is so selfish for you to say that.
selfish, because
It is.
if your
It is.
kids are seeing you unhappy and crying or
And y'all are
whatever,
already saying women carry the whole weight of the household, everything on our shoulders. We're responsible for everything, right?
And-
Both of y'all said that. Like,
Stop
without
calling your
us-
feelings.
No,
So
hold on. Without us having everything together, then the whole family falls apart. So if there's no man pouring into us, the man is absent. How do we keep our own cup filled so that we can give the best to our children
and maintain the
Hold
house.
on, hold on. All right. So again, what was neglected in that whole thing, right, was you guys intentionally avoided the root cause, right? All those issues, right? The choices that you made, right, could have been avoided if you would have been not selfish and looked at saying, hey, if I have this child, period, right, out of wedlock as someone who's not married, then this could be a consequence. Or if I leave him before he marries me, right, I will be doing this by myself, right? That is a selfish decision that women make all the time, right? That they can choose not to have the child at all. That is their choice, right? Because they know that if I have this child, he could potentially not be around. Or also, if I end up having the child, I'm leaving the relationship, right? You very rarely find men that leave relationships of the mother of their children, right? It's always the women who leave the relationship. So that's 2 choices that they made to put the predicament that they're in.
The men, why are we leaving the men though? Why are we leaving the
because
men?
of your feelings.
No, Arthur, you already said it's because he's we go for a hotter guy.
Okay, so again, if the man wasn't qualified as a father, you should not have had a baby by him.
But what if he
Piss
is?
on love, piss on feelings. You have to look at a man. Is he a suitable father for my son or daughter? Is he going to be able to provide for them, to provide a stable household, or to provide morals and values that I can be proud of, that he's my father? And that discussion isn't happening.
Well, for us, I'm saying for me personally, that I have my kid's dad is the best dad, regardless if we're together or not. He is still a stand-up guy. Like, I guess you two both are fathers. Y'all not with y'all, the mother of your children, and but you're still great dads. And like I said, joint custody, whatever. But
so you're still hopefully raising good, productive children with, you know what I'm saying? They still have the values and morals. They're still having good things instilled in them, even though you're not on the same roof as with the mother of your children.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen, pay attention to this. There's studies out there that proves that the mother and the father in the home is the best way to raise a child. So I'm gonna ask you a question. What's your name? Cess or Kes?
Cecily, yeah.
All right. So you're married, right?
Yes.
How long you've been married?
We've been together for 2 years.
All right. You have a kid with him?
I do.
All right. You're in love?
Yes.
So what happened when you fell out of love? What's gonna happen now?
I don't believe in falling out of love. I still love love for me is unconditional. So love is not the thing. You can love somebody and not be with them.
So what if you have the same feeling
Won't
you
happen.
have for him, what it will, because feelings.
I'll tell you why. Because you think it's feelings. For me, it's not about the feelings, because I don't. That's the last thing on my list of what I want. So therefore, he checked off every box as far as being a provider, someone mentally, physically more in line with what I'm in line with. So it wasn't about, oh, I just love him. No, love don't mean shit to me. At the end of the day, it's deeper than that.
So you're saying it doesn't matter what marital problems you guys face, you're not getting divorced.
If anything, I'd be planning a funeral, because the only reason why we would get a divorce is if there was some cheating or he was being physically abusive. But outside of those two things, I'm not.
See, this is what I am saying. This is the mentality that most women need to have. The mentality that you have right now, where you're saying it doesn't matter what you're saying, that's what women need to have, and they don't have that. Everybody wants to run to the next dick, and that shit don't work.
And I think a lot of that is contributed to this feminist movement that's out there now that says that women can do and say and act and whatever way they want to, and there's no consequences or repercussions for their decisions, and there's no accountability held for any of the decisions that they make. And I think that narrative, and unfortunately, has been adopted by women of African descent, and it has hurt them tremendously. Because now you're having this movement that does nothing for you, that doesn't represent you or anything that's concerning you, speak for you, and then speak for your mentality, and then brainwashes you to believe that that the outcomes of your decisions are going to be better for you, and that's just not the case in any facet of the way. I mean, I think that this feminist ideology has really hurt women of African descent even more.
I think that feminine ideology is a way for women to take our own identity back, because when we go back to gender roles, like women, or just the history of America, this patriarchal society, this is a way for women to say, I can earn income, I can provide for my family too. There's nothing wrong with that.
There is something wrong with that.
What's wrong with income?
Because you can't
your kids.
Well,
you are taking away from your kids
faster and really get to the point of living your life like you want to. Like, I don't,
you are, listen, man. We as men, I promise you, I don't like going to work. I would like to be around my kids, but we do that other sacrifice to make sure our kids are okay. You as a woman, why would you choose that? Honestly, why would you choose that? We created this stuff, and we know what we created.
Why would we choose what, going to work?
Yes.
Because
why would you take time away from your child?
Because women are not limited to motherhood. Get that out of your mind.
There's a lot of different women. Personally,
limited.
That's limited to motherhood. I repeat that. I don't have to just stay home and take care of the kids.
That's the most important role in your life.
Yes, I agree.
So you're not limited to it. That's the number one role in your life. There's no limitations to it. You birth the presidents, you birth the kings. What are you talking about? There's no limit to that. That's the most important thing. A job is shit. A career is shit. Parenting is the most important thing in life. That's not limiting to nothing.
And everybody has different perspectives, because I agree with that. And if I wouldn't have went to school for as long as I did to get the career that I have now, I don't have to work. I choose to work, but my fiance doesn't want me to work. But if I did too much to get to this point for me to just stay home right now, but I would. I've done it before, and being a mother is better than going to work. I mean, for me, but some women, they would. No, they'd rather have a balance.
I'd rather have a balance. I don't want to be at home all day with the kids. Or doing
I won't be home all day.
Why would you not?
My own passions. I want to serve the community as a whole. I want to serve the community as a whole. So again, that goes back to being able to make sure that my cup is filled and making sure my parents and my children and still have enough to go out in the community and do work as well. Because women are doing the most in our communities, especially.
No,
do you disagree? So
Yes.
who are the men? Who are the black men or
Leaders.
the men leaders in our community? Please let me know who is out there. Name drop them, because I got a whole list of women, and I would like to reach out to these men and connect, because we need to organize and figure out a way what we can do about our youth and the youth violence and the things happening in our community. Name some black leaders in our community who's really pushing and organizing and making shit happen, like the women in Louisville, Kentucky are.
What women in Louisville, Kentucky doing what?
Building
Get into the community.
What
Hold on.
Starting nonprofits, building the communities, you know.
So I would say organizing. I believe organizing the community isn't helping at all. Just by getting everyone riled up and together with no common means to an end or no solutions that are going to be provided isn't helping. Also, a huge component that's being missed in a lot of these organizations or a lot of these clusters of people is that there is no financial movement of funds, right? Because all of the I should say a high majority of the problems that we face as a culture and as a community is the movement of funds and economics, right? We can collectively be poor as shit and just be all on the same page, and it won't get us nowhere and won't change nothing, right? We have to have a economic movement in our communities that will make a difference. And unfortunately, women are not contributing in that area.
How are you saying? Because
I ain't got no money.
Women don't make the most money.
I know that,
especially women of color.
I know that you've heard of Buy Black Lou, right? That was created by a woman who was organizing Black economics so that we can have a hub of resources. There's grocery stores. There's all types of things that women are doing that does have a direct impact on our youth and our community. And
I'm not disputing that work isn't being done, right? However, work is constantly being done all the time, right?
Movement, because we really need to keep the money within our own communities, right?
We we make enough money. The problem, the amount of money we make and the amount of money we spend isn't the problem, right? Like we're the best at that, right? The African community, African people or people of African descent in America,
the most money.
American Africans spend the most money. They're the top 10 richest nation in regards to spending. So we have the money and we spend it, right? We don't put nothing into the community, right? If you look at our top 10% of people, right, that what we call our leaders, based on economic standpoint, aren't contributing that their same 10% that got them in the position that they're in back into the community. And that is becoming the problem, is because all these stuff that is started doesn't have a financial backing to push it forward. Right? You can't make legislative issues without having an economic standpoint or economic push into it. So legislation and bill passing has no type of power unless you have an economic venture pushing it forward to the forefront, right? You can't get handouts when it comes to legislation just because it's the right moral things to do. Right?
Power, you said we have the money. That's not the issue. So it's just about us.
Again, the economic push isn't being pushed forward though. So we spend the money, but we're buying Bentleys and hair and weaves and extensions and gold and jewelries and diamonds and stuff like that, which has no value and does nothing for the community as a whole.
And fake butt and fake boobs.
Oh, bodies, of course, yeah. So all this stuff that women are doing, and I'm not disputing that work isn't being done, and it's always going to be done primarily by the women because they're not putting the work in regards from an economic standpoint. They're not having to provide for the families and provide the economics that the African man has to.
I just have too many powerful women in my personal network who are really out here making big strides in the community. So I just have to disagree.
Well, again, and I'm not disputing that. We all can name powerful women,
and they're remaining great moms through and through. Even though they're showing up day in and day out, giving themselves to they're still great mothers and pouring into that all at the same time.
Okay, so for every one of those women, you can name 2 women that aren't even doing shit compared to them. right? If not, maybe 3. For every, and I'm talking about good, strong, decent African women. For every one that you can find 3 more that ain't doing a fucking thing, right? And that's the issue, is that it's not about the minority, it's about the majority, right? We can't base all of our decisions on what the small, minute, number of people are doing compared to what the majority is doing, and that's what's going to hold us down. Right, the whole crab in the bucket idea is if one tries to rise, there's 5 more pulling them down, and no one can ever get out the damn bucket.
So we're not moving together.
I'm really surprised that our viewers are so silent today. Like, if you have a comment or a question, drop it down below. I didn't mean to cut you off, Joseph, but we have one more question. We're just going to move on to one more question, and we're going to wrap it up because we literally could probably go on and on with y'all all damn night.
Which is amazing. So why do you think Louisville is rated one of the worst cities as far as dating goes for the Black community?
You know why?
What?
Because everyone here, most people here are attracted to the same set of people.
Okay.
The regular guy in Louisville don't stand a chance.
Okay.
I think every woman have the idea, the dude that they want, and that dude have a plethora of women that he's sleeping with, and everybody's sharing him. So all these women going around, whatever. So if you meet a girl and dating her, she's already someone's side chick.
Ooh.
So this is the reason why. And if you meet a dude, he already have 2, 3, 4, 5 girls that he's sleeping with. Mm-hmm. So this is the reason why there's not enough to go around, because there's some men that women wouldn't even. They're not going to touch. They're sitting down and waiting on this particular guy that ain't coming, because he already have a bunch of girls to please. So he ain't coming to put a ring on your finger. You get what I'm saying? And this is the reason why in Louisville it's so bad here, because there's a small minute man, and that almost every woman wants. And he's not. He can't share. You get what I'm saying? So
women ain't stepping outside the box and expanding and going outside of their own type. Is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say too, man, love and attraction is really based on proximity. So if we think about Louisville and the way it is, I guess how the city is formed as a whole, obviously primarily, and I only care about women of African descent and women who look like me and share my experience, because I don't really fuck with no one else besides that. So I can only speak on that notion. But if you think about it, majority of our African women or women, Black women, are in the West End. So obviously West End is known, and it's just a factual thing that it's just lower income, lower quality of people down there in general, if we think about it from morals and values and that type of thing. So you're only, if majority of our people are there, they're typically going to be associating with the same people in the area. So, shit plus shit equals shit. So it's a common equation. And then the people who do step out, and you got the people of color that go to different areas of Louisville, right? They're just there by themselves. So they're typically surrounded by people who don't look like them and don't share in their experiences. So then you have these disloyal Black men who then date white women or date women that don't look like them or don't share like them or don't look like their mother, and that becomes a bigger issue, because then you have women who slept with a Black man and had a mixed baby who's still an African child. Then they live out east, and then he's surrounded by a bunch of people who don't look like him and don't share experiences. So he don't date women who look like him either. So then you have this disconnect of people who are disloyal and not connecting to people in the West because they don't share in those experiences and they can't relate because they don't live in the same upbringing. And then the people in the West never leave the West, and they keep fucking with people in the West, and they kind of stay in the West. And then the people in the East do the same thing. So then you have this big circle of not going anywhere and not intermingling. And then it never bodes well, because obviously you can't, when shit equals shit, it doesn't produce nothing good. And then people who are of quality and worth, who have moved into the East or to the better sides of the city, they're not going and pulling people, from the West, because you just don't do that. You don't go beneath you to lift up.
I'm gonna say, to that point, about the West and people not wanting to leave the West, because the West is, we feel like the West End is ours. That's our home. Speaking of which, like, there is gentrification occurring in our city right now, to where they are restoring the homes down in the West End, which is going to raise the property values. And we're talking about how Black people spend their money. My personal opinion is that we need to less consumerism, more buying land and real estate if we have those type of funds, in order to take our piece of the pie and build generational wealth, because you don't want these people to come and buy up our homes and make us move out, and because that's what happening. They're buying the properties, and everyone in the West is they're turning on the projects, and everyone's moving out east, and so it's just like us constantly being displaced because we're not allocating our resources and into things that are actually going to help us sustain wealth.
But yeah, to answer that question though, I think both of y'all have a valid point. Women usually staying within their type of man, which is usually the wrong thing to do. And you end up getting the same results,
right? Most definitely,
time after time again. So that's definitely a fact.
That's like insanity. That's the definition of insanity.
Yeah, and then the whole circle. Yeah, that wasn't my first time hearing what Henry said. Like this circle of people that just continue to pass each other around. Those are all good points.
Those are good points.
And to touch on your point, Jasmine, the problem with that I guess ideology or that thought process of buying real estate and land, that requires capital. And that's the problem with people of African descent, especially ones in Louisville. There's not a lot of capital, or people who have the capital to buy this land and real estate. There's not enough of them, period, let alone people that look like us and share like us to go back and give back to that community and buy that land and buy that real estate. There's not enough people.
Just a minute ago, you said we've got money.
Yeah,
no, as a whole, we have money. We're talking about Louisville right now. Louisville, there's very few people in Louisville.
Louisville's a gold mine, if you ask me. Louisville's a gold mine.
Of people that look like us?
We sleeping on ourselves, possibly.
No,
I can't agree with that.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
We're not. You can tell. This is why I can disagree with you, because if you look at the professionals in Louisville, the percentage of professionals that look like us, and that is the calculation on how you judge wealthy people on the number of professionals compared to that's in a equivalent to the race aspect, right? Louisville has less than 1% of professionals in the whole city that look like us and share in our experiences, right? So you can't say that wealth and power, right, and influence and capital is being produced when you're not having professionals that look like us in the city.
We ain't got no money.
Because there's so many, like our demographic, we are like the fastest amongst the population to become educated and getting our degrees. And so, do you think
we still don't got no money though? We're not providing no jobs. We ain't got no money. That's what I'm saying. You're looking at a few people with nice cars and a house. They still don't got no money. They might look like they do got it, but they don't got it. They're broke like us too.
Well,
so like you might, and again, those figures and stuff are so misleading, because just by having degrees doesn't mean you have wealth, or
that's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making.
Statistics can be misleading and slanted either direction that you want it to go. Like
what? The IRS would tell you if you have money or not, man.
Yeah.
The IRS keep a track of that, how much money you make. So what he's saying about professionals, less than 1%. There's no money here. We don't have it. And as I said, the people you see, you probably see a few, with nice cars or
we've got
a nice house
in this city, y'all. I just think that it's crazy that y'all don't think that there's money when we literally have Black millionaires. Maybe it's just because I don't know.
Not a lot though. That's what he's saying.
Circle. So I guess it's just
No, he's saying that there are million with wealthy or rich black people here, but he's saying it's less than 1%. That's what he's saying. They're here, but they're not many.
I'm just talking about professionals, but you can't take that 1% of what's that here? Say that
resources. You can certainly combine resources within that 1%. I'm sure that that's going to be enough capital to do something to help our community. You can't make me.
But you have to have people that look like us give a fuck about us, and those are two different conversations. Not everyone has the same type of mentality about the community. Most people who rise above the community and are millionaires and very established and professional, they don't give back to the community.
They're not going back.
Right. And the reason why they don't is because they will get ostracized and demonized by the people who they are in the circle with. Right. Yep. Like you can't if you're a millionaire, you can't give 10% back to your community because and you can't let the world know you do so. Right. Because they will shun you and shish kebab your ass. If you do.
It's just hard for me to subscribe to that ideology because literally the millionaires that I know give back to the community.
How much?
I think that's like a stigma.
How much?
I don't count their pockets. Come on now.
No, the reason why I say that is because I can give back to my community too.
There's a dollar amount that you can give back to as well.
Yeah, and it's called a tax write-off. Right? I'll give back to my community too, just because it's a free tax write-off to make sure I don't have to pay so much taxes on that $1 million I have. I'm talking 10%. The same thing that the federal government does takes 10% out of your check. You should get 10% give back to your community. That's how you can judge. The perfect analogy, analogy is a person who goes to church, right? And so if that person who goes to church and he gives offerings to the church, right? He's worth $1 million, and he gives the church $1,000, right? Mm-hmm. So that's one, so that number, right? And then there's the same person who has $100 and they give $50 to the church and they only have 100, right? So that person who gave more, that goes back to that type of ideology. He may have gave more from a monetary standpoint, right? From an actual dollar amount, but he didn't give more back to compared to what he's worth.
That's true.
Yeah,
right. And that's the problem is that there's all the LeBron James and Jay-Z's and all that type of shit. They're not doing shit for the community. They might do individual things that produce outcomes, but when you talk about the actual dollar amount that they're putting into it compared to what nothing is nothing. They're putting tax write-offs every year into the community,
and that's the reason why they stay rich, because when they do their taxes, all of the stocks right off. They ain't pay no tax. That's why they stay rich.
So you can talk to you ask a black person, a black professional millionaire, what he's doing for his community. He says, "Man, I give $10,000 to the community every year. That's great, but when you're worth $1 million, that's chump change." Mm-hmm. His car, he spends that on his car repairs.
It's true.
So what you do for the community is based on your dollar amount that you give back, right? And if you're worth more, you should be giving more.
So you don't even believe something is better than nothing. It's just all if you want. So then you're just putting. I don't know. That can go into a whole other conversation. They're not
doing enough.
You earned and you built your money. I believe that can't nobody tell you what to do with it.
Exactly.
I 100% agree. No one can tell you what to do with your money, but if you earned and built your money through the backs of people who look like you, it is disrighteous that you do not give back the same amount that it took for you to get there by them. And that's the problem is that for a young professional to have the opportunity to be a young professional, it was because it was the backs of the people of his uncles and his aunts and his aunties and his grandmothers. That's what put him in that position to do that. And he has no
back. So I feel like that's a negative outlook because what about the sense of job creation? Like if you start a business and you create jobs for your family, you're saying, "Oh, my family built this and I built this on their back." But really,
who's starting business creating jobs? A lot of people don't do that.
Oh, in this family, that's what we're doing.
Oh,
well, we're not talking about you. We're not talking about you. We're talking about the community.
Yeah, we're talking about the community. We're not employing nobody.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. That's why I like to have these conversations to push this dialogue, and so hopefully we can have more engaging conversations at a larger scale within our community. That's the only way that people are going to learn about these concepts that will help build generational wealth and reunite our families and all. If we're not talking to each other about it, how are we going to solve anything?
And that's
what's
me.
the solution? Like, we can go all day about all the problems, but what solutions are we offering?
Do more.
Oriented.
Do more. Pour more in your community. That's what he said. That's what I say. Do more. Pour more in your community. Take your feelings out of it. Take your feelings. It's about duty and honor and respect. Take it. Your feelings does not matter.
All right, y'all. We're about to wrap up the show. Henry, Joseph, please let our viewers know how they can follow you, find you on social media platforms, and all that good stuff.
All right, I'll go first. Like I said, I'm just Henry McCormick on Facebook. Instagram, it's Daddy Daycare ×4. Same thing, Snapchat. Make sure you like and subscribe. Get off on my YouTube channel. Zebras have stripes. Again, zebras have stripes. I keep it going all the time. Everybody knows me. We always keep it fun.
Most definitely.
Well, on Facebook, I'm author Joseph Clarke. On Instagram, I'm author Joseph Clarke also. Those are my two social media outlets. And if you follow me, stay your feelings, man.
Stay at the feelings if you follow Joseph.
If you follow me, stay your feelings. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it's all about stats and facts.
Your books that you published.
My books are on Amazon. And you can contact me directly if you need a signed copy.
Okay. Nice. All right. Well, I feel like this was a healthy conversation. I'm not, sure if we.
I like you guys more now.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring you on, because I'm like, maybe I'm just, when you texting right over the computer,
there's only so much you can get
communicate.
From Facebook.
So we definitely appreciate you guys coming on the show and sharing your viewpoints and being our guests. So thank you.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
See y'all. Peace.
Bye.
You're listening to the Rich Girls Podcast, where we celebrate women who are glowing, inspiring, rising, leading, and succeeding. Join your hosts, Jasmine and Cecily, for weekly gems on business, relationships, motherhood, finances, and more. Let's get started.